season high 12 assists for LeBron in his triple-double. He's now speaking with Mike in the media.
Hey, LeBron. First of all, Frank had said that the pattern seems to have been with the knee, that it's pretty sore the day after a game, and then you're able to kind of get through it enough to where you can play the next one. Just wonder what that pattern was like this week, you know, missing the Spurs game and deciding it was good enough to go tonight.
Well, I think, we had a delay. We had a 2-hour delay flight leaving L.A. Monday, and I think the flight is what kind of just got the best of the knee, and obviously tried to warm it up. No, I'm sorry, Sunday. Tried to warm it up Monday for Monday's game, but it wasn't ready. So the downtime of not having to fly, yesterday, helped out a lot. Was able to go around the clock treatment and was able to play tonight. Didn't play particularly well personally, but I was able to go out and still try to make some plays to help us win.
No, you don't like to use that, as an excuse. The inefficiency offensively tonight. What were you seeing out there, and how did that play out?
I missed a lot of shots that I know that I'm capable of making and have made throughout the course of the season, obviously. So, a lot of my threes was either short or to the right, and they all felt good though. I didn't feel like I took any bad ones or any bad shots tonight. Just one falling for me. I missed a couple layups as well, a couple ones around the rim. Some of them I was able to get my offensive rebound back and put back up, but not as efficient as I've been, and I don't like that. That's one thing about my game I've always take pride in, so got to be better on Friday.
Yeah.
Ron Melo just said something to the effect of when you're losing close games, that can get to you, it can get you down, not you specifically, but it can get the team down and can carry over, and I suppose in some ways almost become a self-fulfilling prophecy or a stone rolling downhill. Does it feel like that has gotten into this team where it's kind of...
Get 2 stops in a row to extend the lead. And they made big shots, tough shots. Jalen Green was excellent tonight with his shot making ability. All those guys made, shot after shot after shot. So, we just haven't been able to close out games, late game, and make enough plays to win. So it definitely plays a part, and it, starts seeping into your mind a little bit for sure.
LeBron, on a night when, despite your inefficiencies, a triple-double, Russ has, 30 and is getting to the paint. Guys are hitting shots. Austin and DJ Augustine are really effective. Are you surprised that it's still so hard for this team to win, that it just seems like it's every possession, every 3 minutes is just like
we just don't have a lot of room for error, when we make a mistake or we break down defensively or we don't get a good look at the basket, teams are literally making us pay every time. It's not like we're getting away with things, and it's just that simple. I mean, we have a very small margin of error, this year, and teams are making us pay.
Anytime there's a close game like this, I think late possessions get more attention. I'm curious if the last play in the fourth quarter, Melo said in the moment he thought you had an angle, but then he rewatched it and didn't really realize it. I wonder if you yourself, you thought maybe you would have an angle for it, and how that play developed for you.
On the drive, I had an angle for sure, and then David Nwaba came over, and I took a long 1-2 step and ended up behind the backboard. Was a little bit off balance, and I could have forced a reverse layup, but I wasn't in a position to feel like I could have got a great look. I could have got a decent look, and I feel like Melo's look was a lot better than mine, so it's literally that simple.
Is it better for the replay, obviously, Austin diving?
Yeah, but Russ was diving at the same time, so I didn't have Russ dove, and I believe ran into the Jalen Green at the same time, and I saw Austin, but I didn't have if I throw the ball that way and he misses it, now it's going that way, I couldn't afford to do that.
Dr. Kyle will take 3 minutes.
Is your knee situation an injury that you would play through if the team wasn't sort of in a dire situation to win games right now?
I probably my love for the game and the way I play the game and me suiting up has nothing to do with records and things of that nature. That's just not me.
LeBron, can you just talk about what you've seen from Jalen Green, not just in this game, but throughout the 4 games you guys played against him?
He has great shot making ability. Everybody look at his athletic ability, but his ability to make shots, he's been doing this for quite a long time now. Even all the way going back to high school. So, each and every game in this league, you get more and more comfortable with the speed, you get more and more comfortable with the system, you get more and more comfortable how teams are playing you. And, I feel like he's just getting better and better. And the great thing about him being here, they're a super young group besides, a few guys, and it's allowing him to make mistakes and learn on the fly. And that's definitely going to benefit him.
Last 2, this gentleman here and the gentleman in the white shirt.
He asked my question. Just on Jalen Green, do you feel like do you notice just a difference in him confidence-wise from when you saw them in October?
No. Jalen Green is Jalen Green. He's been a confident kid ever since we all started watching him in AAU circuits and things of that nature when he was like in 8th grade, 7th grade. So, no, nothing has changed from him.
Hey, Russ, Melo just said something to the effect of when close losses continue to happen, there can be a tendency for there to be carryover. Not every game, not every time, but how do you fight against something like that when you guys have been in a lot of those games and haven't come out in the way that you want to?
You watch film, you figure out how, if and when you're executing the right way, you're getting shots that you want to get, getting stops. It kind of goes and varies game by game if that's something that you kind of look forward to or look at.
And Frank had pointed out that Houston isn't the best team in terms of defending the rim, and you were really able to get inside and take advantage of that for a while. When the overtime period came, did some of that go away? Was Houston just hot? What did you see in the final session as a team?
They made some big shots. Simple as that.
Russ, this is your highest scoring game since in Charlotte. That was another game you guys had. The last look, you had a chance to win tonight as well. And last look in regulation, does it make it harder in these games when you're doing well, you're scoring and you're having some rhythm, and the team isn't able to win the game?
Yeah, that's ultimately the goal, is to win the basketball game, regardless of,
Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet. Lakers driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. Chris McGee, James Worthy, Meta World Peace. Allie Clifton's going to join us in a little bit. Mike Trudell in Houston handling the post-game duties. The Lakers find a way to lose to the worst team in the league in OT, the 16-win Houston Rockets. The Lakers have now fallen 9 games under 500, guys, for the first time this year. They've also lost 9 straight road games, and in overtime, the Rockets scored 19 points on 5 threes in the first 4.5 minutes of OT. They scored 139 total.
I didn't think that we could hit a new low, but we hit a new low tonight. The worst team in the league, to be able to dominate like they did in overtime. First 4 quarters, tough enough. And I thought the Lakers played well enough to win in 4 quarters, except they missed a lot of free throws. I think they were 18 for 26 or something like that.
18 for 26.
But they moved the ball. They had, 25 or so assists. But to me, it looks like, and it's just my take on it, at the beginning of the season, there was a lot of expectations about this team to win. And I think they are at a point where they know they're not going to meet those expectations, even without AD and, the injuries and all that. It's not an excuse. They should be better than this. All the things that they've experienced, injuries, protocol, they still should be somewhere around 6 or 7, in my opinion. They didn't start out the season serious with preseason. They were waiting around, and so now I think they realize they can't win. They don't feel like they can. It's just this is what I'm seeing, and they can't beat the Suns or the best team. So I don't know, man. They're just it's almost like they're not dead on arrival, but they just don't have that tenacity. They don't have that will to work their way out of this, even to get to the playing game. And you would think they might be able that they're doing. They won a game, and it has just been a mess, and they don't have no continuity anywhere on either side. Play well for 30-something minutes, and then they just that disbelief of I don't know why we're trying to win comes in, and that's what it looks like on the floor to me. Not good.
Yeah, this is one of those years where you just appreciate that you have LeBron, Melo, Westbrook, Dwight, and Anthony on the court on the same team. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not, you can't take a lot of positives from today. Only positive you could take is that, wow, these Hall of Famers on the same team. Because this is, and I'm a pretty positive guy, but that was a pretty tough game to watch.
Yeah, I mean, watching the game with you, you usually aren't getting frustrated. That was frustrating towards the end, Meta. I know you're a defensive guy. You're a champion. And here's the thing. I've been around this franchise my whole life, first as a fan and now doing what I do now. And one thing I've learned, Meta, is that even with the great teams, when you play young teams or teams at the bottom of the standings and they see the Lakers coming into town, they know what that means. Yep. They know what their fans are going to be like. They know there's going to be a ton of Laker fans in the building. They know the energy is going to be high. For these young guys, yeah, they know they've only got 16 wins, Meta, but it's LeBron James. It's the Los Angeles Lakers. And the Lakers give them a chance to believe. And it starts on the defensive end, I think. And they're just not getting the stops when needed. They're not executing down the stretch. And this has been the theme, really, throughout the whole season. And I think that's what's so frustrating.
Yeah, I think so. And I think also that I don't know if they understand, like, some people actually support them. Like, we want to see them do well.
Of course.
Right? So I think a lot of the negatives are coming out. So you're probably reading that. But we want to see you do well, and we want to see you play well, have fun, play with confidence. Like, even though we're in last place, but play with confidence. Be the best 10th place team in the league. Right? And show that you want to be there, and show that you're happy, and show that you're competing and you're putting that passion, and put everything else to the side. Tonight, it was just almost like kind of now on the same page, and not that they gave up, but it kind of felt like that.
Yeah. Look, Laker fans are the best. There's no question about it. We got the best fans, and they are accustomed to seeing a certain style of play. Now, they know we don't win championships every year, but they are used to a certain style and a certain effort, which they haven't given us. I mean, the Houston game tonight, that was just one game, but we've seen this all season long. We saw it against Oklahoma. We saw it against other teams that they should win without AD, but we don't have a system in place. It's just like we bring in a lot of new players. They haven't figured it out how to play well together yet, but we still expect them to play hard, and we expect them to win against teams like Houston, and that's just not been happening. It's been a plague all season long. It's been like a plague that we're just not accustomed to in this city, and so this is a tough one, when you lose to teams like the Rockets.
Lakers had 2 chances down the stretch in regulation. They had the ball. LeBron missed a fall away. Russ battled for it, challenged, Laker ball. LeBron drives baseline. Looks like
a change down the stretch.
You'd like to see LeBron go to
when
back
there was
down.
motion.
Yep, absolutely.
And he wasn't standing out behind the three-point line. He collapsed the defense a little bit, got the ball to Carmelo. That was a good shot. Just didn't go down.
I think we all agree, and we've said this throughout the season, the best opportunity you have to win on a one-point game or a one-possession game in the final seconds when you have it is LeBron James going downhill, getting to the basket and creating because people come to him and he can kick or he can try to score. They got that look.
Yeah.
They got that look. You'll take that any day of the week. It's a miss, but now you go to OT, and it just seemed James wins out of the sails.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the Rockets are like, let's win this one now.
Yeah.
For our fans, right? And they started to believe.
Yeah, absolutely. It felt like the Rockets sensed that they had them kind of broken, and the defensive concepts, they wasn't on a string. And the Rockets, they're young. They don't know how to execute yet. And it looked like they was executing. You know, it was actually us.
Yeah, I mean, listen, James, the Rockets went for 5 threes in overtime, which is ridiculous. One of those threes got taken away, actually. They had about 6, and then I'm not sure what happened in that one play, but they had a 13-point lead and went down to 10. The Rockets double figures, 7 Rockets players in double figures. And Jalen Green, who you coached in the Rising Stars game, I mean, he had a huge game and a huge second half in overtime, 32 points. How good can this young man be, big game? I mean, second overall pick, athleticism, can shoot, not afraid of the moment.
Great attitude, Gita. You know, I had a chance to like sit with him for like 5 minutes, and, you know, just to chat and talk about my time and his time. And he's really got a great attitude. He works hard. And he asks questions. You know, he's a guy that asks questions about, and he's always got that big smile on his face. But don't let that smile fool you. This kid can play. You know, he can create. He thinks the game through, as you can see there, passing and just the extra effort and everything. I think he's got a great career in the NBA, and that's why he was selected to be on the Rising Stars team.
You know, Meadow, over the years here at the network, there were some teams that struggled back in the day. And we would always kind of like have a joke because random guys would go for their career highs.
Yeah.
And we would say, you know, you got to have a little bit of pride. Now, Jalen Green is not a random guy. This is his second overall pick. But what does it mean for him to have his career high against Los Angeles Lakers?
I mean, that's
LeBron
big.
James.
No matter, even though the Lakers aren't playing great, just to have 32 on the Lakers, that's big.
Yeah.
You know, that's a statement game. It makes you feel good. You're in the NBA, and you have 32 against the Lakers and LeBron.
Yeah, and another big kind of exposing the Lakers during tough times without AD. I mean, Şengün, another rookie with 21 points.
Şengün.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Şengün. when you don't have a big and you have to play these small lineups who aren't, you know, familiar with playing big, and guys that normally don't, you know, achieve. We've seen it with a lot of centers. We saw it in the Clippers where when they don't have Dwight Howard or when you don't have AD or a big in there, they feel like it's a chance for them to take advantage of that. But regardless of the Rockets' record, when the Lakers come to town, when certain teams come to town, it doesn't matter what your record is. It's going to be your time to shine against that particular team. Golden State comes to town, you want to go against Steph. Boston comes to town, you want to go against the Celtics. You know, so the Lakers are still one of those teams that people know that the world is watching.
Right.
And so if you can shine against them, that's your championship game.
17 games left. Lakers are 9 games under 500. Still in the 9th spot. Still holding a couple game lead over the Pelicans there in that 10th spot. So as it is today, they're going to be hosting that 9-10 game, playing game. Producer Brandon Moore, B. Moore, just came up with a good thing. It's going to be a lot of memes out there in the Twitter world, big game, with your head on the desk.
Yeah.
Does it feel like one of those nights?
I remember that. I remember that night. I was about to walk off and go home that night, but I just couldn't. You know, this team's better than what they've shown. It's been a tough trial and tribulation.
Sure.
We gave up a lot of players last year.
Yeah.
And that was a big part of our chemistry and a big part of our defense, and hoping that none would be playing. And Tucker, we thought we'd have that blend of youth to go along with some of these older players, and we haven't had that. So it's not been a happy year, and it's not been a continuity year, and you know, it just hadn't been a good Laker year. I can't remember. We've had some tough years, but this one, it's been an odd, weird, inexplainable kind of a year.
Yeah, we actually talked about that recently on the Lake Show podcast. It's a lot of it too, guys. It's, I think, because in Meta we mentioned your 2012-13 team in the pregame show. Like, that team got it going and got into the playoffs. I think because of the expectations and what the thought was coming into the season, it's been one of the more rougher years with all the circumstances around it. Just because you never saw it going down like this. Those years, James, that we kind of suffered through together, me and you, always the first faces that were seen, those were kind of expected, right? Young teams. Weren't really hopes of the playoffs. This is different.
It's different. Yeah, we were young. I mean, we were playing, Uncle Earl and, players like that.
Xavier Henry.
And then, Kobe was hurt. And then we tried to do something one year with Dwight and Nash. And I think both of those players were even, injured when they came in.
Yeah.
So whenever you get a chance to, regroup with three elite players like Westbrook, who leads the league in triple doubles, and AD, who's coming in from New Orleans, and then with LeBron, you expect, and a lot of people did. Everybody on every network and everywhere we were watching saying the Lakers were the #2 team to win a championship. Never got out of the box.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get you to the highlights. LeBron James back after missing Monday's